Good morning. How is everyone today? Um, this is indeed my first time playing through this game. Or, in fact, pretty much any Metal Gear Solid game. I've seen some of them played through a little bit. And I know the stories for the most part, but it's been a while since I've heard them, so you know. Okay then. Um, that was random. Not 100% sure what's going on. Feel like this is not normal. Okay, we're gonna try this again. I do not know what just happened there. If it happens again, then I will probably switch to another game for today and, you know, figure out what's going on with that. There we go. Not that you can tell because it decided to switch some things up. So I now have to select a new tab for the thing to watch. Alright, cool. Cool. Alright, so we are now playing I am indeed playing Metal Gear Solid for the first time. Feel like since I've never played a Metal Gear Solid game, I should go with easy. Not gonna go very easy, but figure at the very least I should probably stay with easy.
After the end of World War II, the world was split into two, East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
Wow. It's pretty loud, isn't it? That should help.
Altitude 30,000 feet.
Approaching Soviet airspace.
20 minutes to drop off.
Commencing internal depressurization. Equipment check. Arm main parachute.
All right. You ready to go?
Drop zone still showing a high pressure mass. Cav okay.
Good. We've got high visibility.
Yeah, that looks like high visibility right there.
Put out that cigar. Connecting oxygen hose to interior connector. Put on your mask.
He's listening to his music, man.
Pantywaist know what
Come
he's
on.
doing?
Approaching release point.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey, are you deaf?
He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
Depressurization complete.
Checking oxygen supply.
You know, you didn't actually
6
put
minutes
out
to
the
drop off.
cigar.
Opening rear hatch.
Just saying. I mean, a cigar's probably put out now.
Sunrise. External temperature minus 46 degrees Celsius. 2 minutes to drop off. Stand up.
You'll be falling at 130 miles per hour. Try not to get frostbite from the wind chill.
1 minute to drop off. Move to the rear.
Activate bailout bottle.
This is one for the history books. The world's first halo jump.
10 seconds to drop off. Stand by. Status okay. All green.
Well, the cigar's out now.
Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Spread your wings
And fly. God be with you.
Jack, I've got some important news. The head of the CIA has finally given us the green light for the Virtuous mission.
Virtual mission?
No, the Virtuous mission. The future of our Fox unit depends on it. If it succeeds, we'll be officially organized into a unit.
Oh, fun.
Virtuous mission. Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
You know, don't get cocky. This isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, a certain Soviet scientist requested asylum in the West through one of our moles. His name is Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov. He's head of the
always
OKB
Nikolai.
754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokolov. Isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same. On April the 12th, 1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin into orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokolov left rocket development to become the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story, so why do you want to defect?
It seems he'd become afraid of his own creations.
Afraid?
Call it a crisis. of
Yeah,
conscience.
so
And for
let's
that,
go
he left
ahead
his
and
country and his family behind and went over the fence?
Not exactly.
defect.
One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the west. We used a mole to get the family out first, and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov over the Berlin Wall shortly afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
The security on the eastern side was still full of holes back then. Then what?
We got Sokolov over in one piece, but the whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from the research facility in the Soviet Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent. And it was only a week later that we had something much bigger on our hands.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
October the 16th,
Well,
1962, President Kennedy received
getting our
word that
history
the Soviets
lesson,
were in
aren't
the
we?
process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles in Cuba. The President demanded that the Soviets dismantle and remove the missiles. At the same time, he announced a naval blockade to prevent further missile shipments from reaching Cuba. But the Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces on secondary alert. Soviet transport ships carrying missiles continued on course towards Cuba. US and Soviet forces went on alert for an all-out nuclear war. Frantic negotiations were conducted through the UN's Emergency Security Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba, and so the world avoided a nuclear holocaust. But in order to get the Soviets to pull their missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete, and we were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov. They wanted us to return Sokolov.
You mean the Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
At the time, we had no idea. We were running out of time. It was either give up Sokolov or risk full-scale nuclear war. In the end, we had no choice.
But now we know
Kennedy
what he's
gave in to
doing,
Khrushchev's
right?
demand. The next day, I got Sokolov out of the hospital, handing him over to agents on the eastern side. Sokolov kept on screaming, "Save me," until he disappeared from my sight.
He must be very happy with us.
Then, a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
No,
Yes.
we've been talking about
Taken back
Sokolov.
to the research
But
facility
this is
whilst
about
continue
someone
working on
else.
the weapon in question under KGB supervision. What's more, it's on the verge of completion.
So what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
No, missiles.
Same technology.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device. For half a year now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent nuclear tests at Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
Is Sokolov still in the facility?
No, according to our intelligence, he's in Selino Yas.
By the way, I do have to say,
3 miles to the west,
due
it's
to
known
the
as Virgin
fact
Cliffs.
that
The Virgin
for
Cliffs.
some reason nuclear
Nice name for a
has
virgin
become
station.
very
They moved in
commonplace
there
for
just
people
recently.
to say,
Why?
and it makes me
Apparently,
cringe
they're
every
conducting a
time.
field test of the weapon.
I am
It's our best
so
chance to get
happy
it
that
back.
they're actually
This
saying
mission
nuclear.
would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility. This is our last
Because
chance. Sokolov must have known
it
that
would
too when
it
he
would
contacted
kill
us.
me if I had to go through an entire game where people were saying nuclear. That's not how it's freaking said. And it just really cringes me every time. I don't usually care about it because it's usually just like once or twice in a conversation or like in a show. But yeah, if I had to like suffer through that the entire time, it probably would actually cause me some issues.
Listen up, Jack. Your mission is to infiltrate Selino Yask in the
the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov, and bring him back to the west. If we don't get Sokolov back before that weapon is complete, we'll be facing a major crisis. The clock is ticking. Once we've confirmed the rescue of Sokolov, stand by at the recovery point. A recovery balloon will be dropped at that point. Helium will be pumped into the balloon to inflate it. The process takes about 20 minutes. Once it's complete, the gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
Take it easy. It's been combat-proven.
Do you think Sokolov is up to it?
The shock will be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
So you're planning on going over the border in a single combat Talon?
She's equipped with two 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan cannons, as well as two 40mm machine guns.
Sounds like she could hold her own against a battalion of tanks.
Even with the fuel in the reserve tank, we're facing a 4-hour time limit. If all goes well, it shouldn't take more than a few hours.
Home in time for dinner.
But if anything goes wrong, you'll be eating dinner, breakfast, and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure nothing's gonna go wrong. Nothing ever goes wrong in these type of scenarios. Need to work on your superhero landing. Why is he like so dramatic with every single thing that he's taken off?
Do you copy? You're already in enemy territory, and somebody might be listening in. From here on out, we'll be using code names to refer to each other. Your code name for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on. You're not to mention your real name.
Snake?
What, you don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
Well, you've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training.
I'm glad to hear that.
I don't know if I'd ever order one in a restaurant, but...
Be careful, you might not have a choice.
What about you, Major? What should I call you?
Let's see. I'll be Tom. Call me Major Tom.
Shouldn't
This will be a sneaking mission. You must not be seen by the
we
enemy.
have like
You must leave no trace
discussed
of your presence.
these code
Is
names
that clear?
before?
This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's speciality. In other words, weapons and equipment are procured on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
Great. Now I see why you asked me if I like snakes. I suppose calling me Snake was your idea of a joke, too.
No, there's a good reason for that. I'll tell you later when the time is right.
Gotcha. Getting back to the subject, how exactly am I supposed to feed myself?
You've been issued a knife and a tranquilizer gun. Use them to hunt for food. You'll also find some medical supplies in your backpack.
Yeah,
But don't worry,
about
this
the
this
backpack.
mission is just
I
gonna
lost
be
it in a tree on the
4
way down.
hours.
I see. Well, you'd better go back and get it then.
This
You know what
mission's
it
only
is?
gonna be 4 hours. It's
No
okay.
problem. I can
You
see
know,
it from here.
we're not gonna
It's
have to
stuck on a
eat.
branch.
To climb a tree, stand in front of a tree that's covered in ivy and press the action button. I'll be monitoring your progress over the radio. We can't risk violating Soviet airspace, but I'll be in the gunship. My frequency is 140.85. I'll give you a call if I need to talk to you. If you need to talk to me, use the send function. Okay, Snake, go get your backpack.
Yeah, seriously, that was like very... That was very like elementary school right there, where it's just like you'll be Snake and I'll be let me see, Major Tom. That's not exactly what I was going for, but suppose that works.
I see you've retrieved your backpack, Snake. To equip a weapon, it's necessary to take it out of your backpack. In the survival viewer, choose Weapon from the backpack. Your available weapons will be displayed in a window in the upper left. From that list, choose the weapon you want to equip and press the Enter button. For other equipped items, just do the same thing from Item.
Got it. Use the survival viewer backpack.
Yep, that's right. Survival is fundamental to this mission. After you've been out in the field for a while, your stamina will start to drop. If your stamina gets too low, it'll affect your performance. You won't be able to shoot accurately, for example, and your wounds won't heal as smoothly. Keep an eye on your stamina so you don't run out. To recover lost stamina, you can hunt for local flora and fauna. You can use either your tranquilizer gun or your knife to hunt.
My only weapon is a Mark 22 Hush Puppy tranquilizer gun?
That's right. It's been fitted with its own suppressor. However, the suppressor will deteriorate every time you fire. Once its durability reaches 0, the noise suppression effect will be gone. So don't get too trigger happy with it. The suppressor's durability is shown in the icon. Any weapons and equipment beyond what you're carrying now, you'll have to find as you go.
I have to find my own weapons and equipment? Whose crazy idea was this anyway?
Solo covert actions are standard Fox operating procedure. You can't leave any traces of your presence. No
What
weapons,
about
equipment,
the,
footprints, sweat, or bodily
you know,
waste? The same
parachute?
goes for bullets and cartridges, too. Your presence in enemy territory is already a violation of international conventions of warfare. There aren't supposed to be any American soldiers in Russia. It could spark an international incident. You can't let anyone see you. You can't let the enemy know you're there. This is a stealth mission. You're a ghost, Snake, in every sense of the word. And there'll be no rescue if you're captured. The military and US government will deny any involvement in the affair.
Then I'll just have to take care of myself, huh?
I mean, that's
I'm
what he's
afraid so.
saying.
You've been given a fake death pill for that purpose. SIS guidelines stipulate that soldiers on covert ops like this one be issued a potassium cyanide capsule. Tape it to your body so you can take it when you need to.
How generous of you.
Use it if you're taken prisoner by the enemy. It'll send you into a state of false death for a short time.
Fooling them into thinking that I'm really dead. So how do I come back to life?
Just take the revival pill.
You mean that thing they put in my tooth before the mission?
That's the one. But be careful. If you remain in a state of false death for too long, nothing will be able to bring you back. Remember that.
I'll keep it in mind. You said this was a solo mission, right?
Right.
I guess that means I can't count on any reinforcements.
I mean, that's
The
usually what that
mission rests
means.
entirely in your hands.
A real one-man army.
Relax. There's a support team
There
ready to
are
back you up over the radio.
Constant
I'll introduce them to you. This
overstatements
time,
of stuff
survival is of utmost importance.
is
The first
kind of
member the support team will be
amusing.
in charge of monitoring your physical condition, acting as a medic, so to speak, as well as recording your mission data. She's a member of Fox as well, and she's here on the gunship with me.
She.
Hello, Snake. I'm paramedic. Nice to meet you.
Paramedic.
As in a medic who comes in by parachute.
Aren't you going to tell me your real name?
Are you going to tell me yours, Mr. Snake?
My name,
This is a whole
It's
thing.
John Doe.
And they call you Jack
There-
for short. You're a regular Captain Nemo.
A
You're
name means
supposed to
nothing
be
on the battlefield.
using,
After a week, no one
like,
has a name.
what is the
What's
point?
your name?
Jane Doe.
Very funny.
I wasn't joking, but I'll tell you my name only if you manage to make it back alive. My frequency is 145.73.
She's also in charge of recording your mission data. Whenever you want to save, send a message over the reserved save frequency, 140.96.
So saving lets me record my mission data.
That's right. It also records
Should I be
the state
writing
of your
these things
health.
down?
Good to know.
There's one more person I want to introduce you to, Snake.
Huh?
Speaking of snakes, you remember the boss, don't you? A legendary soldier and your mentor. Actually, it was the boss that got the DCI's authorization in the first place. She's going to be serving as Fox's mission advisor.
Boss is?
She also helped me plan this mission. She and I were at SAS together.
Jack, is that you? How many years has it been?
Like,
Boss?
seriously, he's
That's
in
right.
enemy
It's me.
territory, so it's just like, we're going to be using code names from here on out.
Let me hear your voice.
It's been 5 years, 72 days, and 18 hours.
Not that I've been counting.
You've lost weight.
You can tell just by the sound of my voice.
Of course I can. I know all about you.
Really? Well, I don't know anything about you.
What's that supposed to mean?
Why'd you disappear on me all of a sudden?
I was on a top secret
I
mission.
feel like this isn't the
You
right
didn't
place.
need me anymore.
But
To
there were
go
still so
over
many
this.
things I wanted you to teach me.
No, I taught you everything you needed to know about fighting techniques. I
Yes,
taught you all I
but
knew.
my heart.
The rest you needed to learn on your own.
Techniques, sure. But what about how to think like a soldier?
How to think like a soldier? I can't teach you that. A soldier needs to be strong in spirit, body, and technique. And the only thing you can learn from someone else is technique. In fact, technique doesn't even matter. What's most important is spirit. Spirit and body are like two sides of a single coin. They're the same thing.
I
can't
feel
teach
like
you how to
technique
think.
does
You'll just have to
matter.
figure it out for yourself. Listen
Because
to me,
if
Jack.
someone has the
Just because
spirit
soldiers are on the same side right now doesn't mean they always will be. Having
and they
personal
don't
feelings
have
about
the
your comrades
technique,
is one of the worst sins
they're
you can
just
commit.
gonna get
Politics
killed.
determine who you face on the battlefield, and politics are a living thing. They change along with the times. Yesterday's good might be tomorrow's evil.
Is that why you abandoned me?
No, it had nothing to do with you. I already told you, Jack. I was on a top secret mission. A soldier has to follow whatever orders he's given. It's not his place to question why. But you're looking for a reason to fight. You're a natural-born fighter, but you're not quite a soldier. A soldier is a political tool, nothing more. That's doubly true if he's a career soldier. Right and wrong have no place in his mission. He has no enemies and no friends. Only the mission. You follow the orders you're given. That's what being a soldier is.
I do whatever I have to get the job done. I don't think about politics.
That's not the same thing. Sooner or later, your conscience is going to bother you. In the end, you have to choose whether you're going to live as a soldier or just another man with a gun. There's a saying in the Orient, loyalty to the end. Do you know what it means?
I
Patriotic.
imagine it
devoting
means
yourself
being
to your
loyal
country.
to
I
the
follow the
end.
president and the top brass. I'm ready to die for them if necessary.
The president and the top brass won't be there forever. Once their terms are up, others will take their place.
I follow the will of the leader, no matter who's in charge.
People aren't the ones who
The
dictate
leader
the
is great.
missions.
The leader is
Then
awesome.
Who does?
The times. People's values change over time, and so do the leaders of a country. So there's no such thing as an enemy in absolute terms. The enemies we fight are only enemies in relative terms, constantly changing with the times. As long as we have loyalty to the end, there's no point in believing in anything, even in those we love.
And that's the way a soldier's supposed to think?
The only thing we can believe in with absolute certainty is the mission, Jack.
All right, but do me a favor.
What is it?
Call me Snake.
Snake. Oh, right. Your code name is Snake.
That's right.
It suits
You
you
know,
well.
the thing.
That's right.
The thing
The
that we are
legendary
not
unit that the
supposed
boss put
to
together during World War
say.
II was a snake.
You know,
The Cobra Unit, a group of heroes that brought the war to an end and saved the world. As long as you've got a legendary hero backing you up, you'll be fine. Isn't that right, Snake?
Yeah, I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have with me. Oh, and one more thing, boss.
Yes?
It's good to hear your voice again.
didn't sound like
Same
you were
here.
glad to hear it.
After all, who knows if either of us will make it out alive? Snake, you are always best at urban warfare and infiltrating buildings. But this is the jungle. Survival is going to be key. Those CQC techniques I taught you are sure to come in handy.
CQC? Close quarters combat, huh? I've been in the Green Berets for the past few years. I'm probably pretty rusty.
Not to worry. I'll be here to help you remember. After all, this is your first actual survival mission. I'll be supporting you over the radio.
Where are you, boss? Next to the Major?
The boss is communicating with us by radio from aboard a Permit-class submarine in the Arctic Ocean.
My frequency is 141.80. Call me if you need my advice on battle techniques.
Gotcha.
Seriously, should
Your
I be
mission
writing
is to
these numbers
retrieve
down?
Dr. Sokolov. Dr. Sokolov is being held in an abandoned factory located to the north of your current position. Avoid heavy combat and don't let anyone see you. Don't forget that this is a stealth mission.
Snake, try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
You know, I feel like if this ever had a live action thing,
Commencing virtuous mission. Now.
Jensen Ackles would be perfect, you know? Alright, I need to check some buttons. Okay, so I probably am gonna need to write some of them. But I do have them in a list. So that's good. Okay, he's got his gun out right now. Feel like we need to go with the knife for right now. Hey, it's a snake. Okay, so I see a thing over there to the side. Looks like it's sort of talking about my camouflage. Okay. That doesn't look pleasant. We're gonna be chill. Wow, still alive. Alright. I've now got some food. And I don't know where to go. Like, maybe that way? Oh, let's be cool, guys.
Major, I've spotted 2 enemy soldiers.
They're probably KGB troops sent to guard Sokolov.
AK-47s and grenades.
Snake, your presence in Soviet territory is already a violation of international law. We can't let the Kremlin find out that the CIA and the American government are involved. Contact with the enemy is strictly prohibited. Don't engage them in battle either. This is a stealth mission. Got that?
Hey,
The
you
Major
know,
is right.
you
The
haven't
point
really
of this
mentioned
mission
this
is to
yet,
sneak
but
through the jungle without being
is this
seen.
a stealth
The
mission?
success of the mission depends on
I
how
feel like
well
I need
you
to
use
know
your
these
camouflage.
things. Like,
Change your camouflage by selecting Camouflage from the Survival Viewer. The Uniform option lets you pick your uniform, while the Face option lets you change your face paint. Choosing camouflage that blends in with your surroundings will help you conceal yourself more effectively. Also, don't forget that anything that moves will stand out in the jungle. If you just stand up and run around like an idiot, you're bound to be spotted. But if you crawl instead, you should be able to sneak by without being noticed. You can see how effective your camouflage is by looking at the Camo Index. The Camo Index shows how well your current camouflage blends in with the surrounding area. The higher the value, the harder you are to spot, and vice versa. The key is to make yourself one with nature. Keep that in mind as you go along, okay?
okay. So yeah, I think what they're saying is that this is a camo mission, or this is a stealth mission. I might be wrong about this, but there we are. So let's see. Not supposed to engage with them. So I have to sneak around them. Why you keep coming this way? Alright. I'm just gonna go this way and hopefully he doesn't see me. Doesn't see the ground moving. Really? Where's... weren't there two? Oh, there's the other one. Where am I going? Maybe that way? That's helpful, thank you.
Something there? I must be seeing things.
That's right, you're just seeing things. Nothing here but us birdies.
Huh? Who was that? Who's that?
Yeah. Alright, I don't think that was actually working. That's also not gonna work. So yeah, that didn't go well.
HQ.
Patrol here. Lost sight of the intruder. Going into high alert.
Acknowledged. The enemy is still nearby. Pursue and engage him.
I apparently have been caught. Or have been seen. Be nice if I could actually see stuff, but I can't. Man, they really want to make sure that you have a hard time with this. Like, it's like 99 seconds to evade for evasion, and then another 99 seconds for, like, they really want to showcase how you are supposed to be doing stealth. What the frick? Love that that was the very first moment of trying to use stealth too. Meaning it's going to get harder from here. And the counter's already reset like 4 times. Like, I understand the whole realism for it, but this does seem like a little bit of overkill for you to basically have to, like, find a place to hide for, like, 5 minutes of actual real time.
This is HQ.
Patrol here. No problems detected.
Understood. Resume your patrol.
I don't even know where I'm supposed to be going now. Got all turned around. So is the blue area where I've already been, or where I can go? Oh, man. there a quicker button for the map? There he is. Yeah, I think I need to go that way. Just don't entirely know how to do this without him noticing me. There's someone else behind me. I'm gonna get caught again.
I think I saw something. Huh. Guess I'm seeing things.
The other person. There they are. Ah. I recognize that I kind of knew what I was getting myself into. The whole fact that I knew it was a stealth-related game. But I don't think I fully appreciated how stealth involved they decided to do this. It's like, this is a little on the ridiculous side. Wish I could just have like a little map right up next to the side of me. I'm gonna like check the map every 2 seconds.
Something?
Oh, come on.
Who's that?
I think I saw something.
Dude. That's it. Can I not just take their weapons and gear and whatnot? That would be very helpful. Well, I didn't exactly pull the stealth off there. And that was the first one, so it's sort of just... If that was supposed to be the introduction to it, and I'm on easy, I'd hate to see what would happen on more difficult levels. Okay, so I'm using a PlayStation 4 controller, and it keeps on saying X and Y and stuff like that. What button am I supposed to actually press? Whoops. Oh, I get the whole stealth thing, but like, for real? I don't know. A lot of the stuff in this so far is kind of... It's like, are you serious?
Huh? I hear something.
So what you mean is... That was not the wasp nest.
There's nothing here.
Nice that you put something that looked very similar to a wasp's nest right there. Shoot. How do I get that? Like, clearly, I'm supposed to be able to pick that up. Ah, okay. Seems a little unnecessarily complicated, but fine. I feel like I'm being very critical of this game thus far. You'll see nothing. Keep moving. Go tree square. Where was the squares? Since I'm going in with red. Alright. Cool. Let's see. There has to be like another way to do the map, right? Oh, that's not it. Oh, they are. Okay. He's over there. What you doing there, buddy?
You must be Sokolov.
Are you one of Vulcan's men? You'll never get it from me.
No. I'm a CIA agent. I've come to escort you back to the other side of the Iron Curtain.
You're CIA?
Yeah. I was sent by Major Zero, the man who got you out 2 years ago.
Zero?
I have a message from him.
What is it?
He said to tell you sorry for being so late.
Did he now?
What does it mean?
It means he's a man of his word.
All right, Alfred.
But we've got no time for this. You have to get me out of here before they arrive.
Who's they?
Colonel Volgin of Gru. You in the West know him as Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt? Never heard of him.
Well, apparently, I in the West have not been calling him Thunderbolt.
He's a member of the Army's extremist faction, a man who seeks to seize control of the motherland. Ever since the Cuban Missile Crisis 2 years ago, Khrushchev has been pursuing a policy of peaceful coexistence with the West. Despite resistance and criticism from hawks in the army and the provincial authorities, Khrushchev has managed to suppress the opposition so far. But the failure of his agricultural policies has put him in a precarious position. And on top of that, the tragedy last November.
President Kennedy's assassination.
Precisely. In a sense, Khrushchev has lost his biggest partner, and his power base is rapidly crumbling away. A certain group is plotting to use this opportunity to seize power by rallying the anti-government forces, overthrowing Khrushchev, and installing Brezhnev and Kosygin in his place. The mastermind behind this plot is Colonel Volgin of the Gru.
All names that I
Control over another
definitely
secret weapons
know.
research facility much like this one, OKB-812, known as the Granin Design Bureau, and is using it to further his plans. But that is not enough to satisfy him.
Well,
Now
why
he's
would it
plotting
be?
to seize the secret weapon I have been developing here and use it as leverage in his bid for power. The intelligence says that they are going to make their move during the test.
Then, the soldiers outside.
Exactly. They wouldn't need that many men just to keep me inside. Their
Oh.
orders were to prevent Colonel Volgin from capturing me.
So I guess I shouldn't have killed those 4 or 5 guys
Even if it
earlier,
meant
huh?
killing me in the process, or so it would seem. Volgin will come. I'm sure of it. You must get me out of here before then.
Leave it to me.
By the way, your Russian is superb. Where did you learn to speak it?
From my mentor.
Is that so? America is truly a frightening country.
Having second thoughts.
No. I have no love for this place. Let's go.
How is learning another language a frightening thing?
Major, this is Snake. Sokolov is safe with me. He's doing fine. No injuries.
Good work, Snake. Now hurry up and get Sokolov to the recovery point. We'll rendezvous with you there.
Roger.
What about the sentries?
I had to kill them. There was no other way. But no one will know we were involved.
I see.
What about the boss?
We lost contact with the boss some time ago.
What happened?
It's probably just a weak signal. Just hurry and get Sokolov out of there.
Oh, right. We're supposed to be stealthing. What are you doing? Who do you think you are? Man over here thinks he's frickin' Kato.
Freeze!
There's a chance we blew it.
So this is the legendary boss.
Huh?
Huh? We meet at last. You're from the Ocelot unit of Spetsnaz. Huh. What's a GRU soldier doing here? Soldier? He's the Ocelot commander. Ha! That's Major Ocelot to you. And don't you forget it.
Man, what is with everyone in these giant dramatic movements, you know?
Sokolov is ours. Now get out of here. And Ocelot never lets his prey escape. What?
You... Oh. Get off my hat. Hi.
I can't say it feels good to kill a comrade, even if it is for the GRU.
Sokolov, take cover.
Huh. You're not the boss, are you?
Really? Oh my lord.
GRU operatives? What is that stance? Huh. That gun. If you're not the boss, then die. Major! Leave it! Shoot the other one! Whoa!
I love that the first purposeful action moment, it's doing an entire cutscene instead of letting me have some fun.
ejected the first bullet by hand, didn't you? I see what you were trying to do, but testing a technique you've only heard about in the middle of battle wasn't very smart. You were asking to have your gun jam on you. Besides, I don't think you're cut out for an automatic in the first place. You tend to twist your elbow to absorb the recoil. That's more of a revolver technique.
You filthy American dog!
You say that, but you're like purposefully copying a cowboy. And again, the first purposeful action moment, and it took it away from me.
But that was some fancy shooting. You're pretty good.
Pretty good.
You know, I feel like killing him would be a good idea.
Major, do you read me?
I read you. Snake, you alright?
I've run into a few snags. These guys were after Sokolov too. Apparently they were taking orders from a GRU colonel named Volgan.
A GRU colonel?
Part of an internal Soviet power struggle, according to Sokolov. Something between the KGB and GRU. Between Khrushchev's supporters and Volgan's.
Sokolov was being guarded by the KGB and hunted by GRU? Snake, it sounds like this could be even hotter than Cuba.
I don't like it. Something about the whole thing stinks.
I agree. You'd better hurry.
Sokolov ran off by himself, but I'll catch up to him.
We're counting on you.
Okay. Sokolov, I think, ran this way. Go ahead and take care of our camo thing. You go through the gate? No? Should have put a frickin' tracker on the guy. Destination X. Okay, I gotcha.
You okay? Those men were from the Ocelot unit.
Spetsnaz?
Yes.
You
best
don't
crew has to
stay.
offer. They're coming for me. I'm finished.
Calm down. I'll get you out of here, I promise. And we've got some of the best backup we could ask.
Look.
That's what they were making you build?
Yes. The Shagohod. The dreading behemoth. A tank capable of launching nuclear IRBMs.
It can launch nuclear missiles from that kind of terrain?
Oh, yes. And without support from friendly units.
A nuclear
Well then.
tank capable of operating solo. Is that thing finished?
No, this is only the end of Phase 1. It won't be truly finished until we complete Phase 2.
Phase 2.
The weapon's true form. If it is completed and the Colonel gets his hands on it, it will mean the end of the Cold War.
The end of the Cold War?
Yes.
Because it will be war. 'Cause
A world war.
I had no choice but to cooperate. I didn't want to die.
I mean, to be fair, that is
To see
your
my wife and
choice.
child again in America.
Like,
Please, take me to America, quickly.
it's understandable,
They cannot
but it
complete
was
it
still
without
a
my
choice.
Got it. Let's go.
Hey, we're crossing a rickety bridge. Obviously, we're not gonna have any trouble. Especially since we're doing a cinematic scene 2 seconds after we just got done with another cinematic scene. Why didn't they just make a movie? Because it really seems like they wanted to make a movie. Again, seem to be being a little overly critical of this game.
Boss?
Good work, Jack.
What are you doing here?
Sokolov comes with me.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Hornets.
So they have... Alright, so even if you have a guy who can control Hornets, I don't think that the Hornets would be able to manage that close to a helicopter. Like, it's neat in theory. Like, and it's all nice and cinematic and whatnot, and I'm sure he's gonna be a lovely boss fight later.
My friends, let us fight together again.
I have waited long for this day.
We will fight with you once more. Welcome back, boss.
Now that all 5 of us are together, it's time we go to the depths of hell itself.
So
It's raining blood.
there's a thing that I'm just like sitting here wondering why you're not doing this. You've got a gun on her. I don't care. And like you have a trank gun. Like it's not like it's a trank gun. So I mean it's so it's not like it would kill her. You would still be able to question her. Why have you not shot her?
Ah, what a joyful scene.
Colonel Vogan.
Welcome to my country. And to my unit.
Boss.
Seriously.
I'm defecting to the Soviet Union. Sokolov is a little gift from my new hosts.
Recoilless nuclear warheads. These will make
Like,
a fine
seriously,
gift
there
for
is
me.
literally
This can't be happening.
no
Who
reason
is he?
why you are not
I don't wanna hear
shooting
his
them.
disciples.
You have trank
taking him with
darts.
No, this one is still just a child. Too pure for us cobras. He has not yet found an emotion to carry into battle.
What are you talking about?
Shoot
Think you can
her.
pull the trigger?
It's a trank gun. Even if it wasn't a trank gun, why did you not pull the trigger earlier?
He's seen my face. We can't let him live. If Khrushchev finds out about this, we're finished. He must die.
Wait. He's my apprentice. I'll take care of him. Jack, you can't come with us.
The new blood has been rejected. Are we done here?
Now, onto Sokolov's research facility.
Shagohod is ours.
Oh, Lord.
Drift away. My place is with them now.
Like I said, nothing was gonna go wrong. We're gonna be done with this, 4 hours, in and out. Ain't nothing gonna be going wrong.
Snake, can you hear me?
Yeah. Just barely.
Snake, listen to me. You need emergency medical treatment. Can you move? You've got to get those wounds treated. Hang in there. All right, let's get you fixed up. Paramedic?
Okay, Snake. Just relax and it'll all be over before you know it. Stay with me. I've seen people in worse shape before. Think you can handle it?
Major. The boss. She's defected.
We'll talk about that later. First, we've got to get you patched up.
Okay, here we go.
Well, that's nice of them.
First, open the survival viewer with the start button. If you select cure, you can start the treatment. Healing is divided into treatment using medicine with the item window button and surgical treatment using the weapon window button. Your injuries include a fractured left elbow and rib bone, and lacerations on your upper arms, right elbow, and abdomen. They need to be fixed using surgical treatment. Move the healing cursor with the left stick to the affected part of your body. Once you've selected the affected area, hold the weapon window button and use the left stick to select the medical item, and then press the enter button. With this method, you can use items to help your recovery process. To treat a bone fracture, first secure the affected area with a fastener and then wrap it in bandages. That should do it. For lacerations, you'll need disinfectant to clean the wound, sutures to stitch it up, styptic to slow the flow of blood, and bandages to wrap the wound.
Man, they really
If you
went.
do everything I mentioned, the wound should heal completely. Understood?
They really wanted to make
Stay with
sure
me.
that all this stuff
Go
was
into
going
the
on.
survival viewer and treat those wounds.
Alright. Cure. Suffering from a deep cut, bleeding. So this is... So we need to disinfect. And then we just need to apply a bandage. Okay. So now we just... So... Okay. Oh, that did the trick. Oh, look at that, I did it. I'm figuring it out. Deep cut. Look at that, I'm figuring it out. And now that we're all patched up, yeah. If that was actually a broken bone, everybody understand, you do not fix your broken bone like that. You can fix something that's been dislocated by something like that. But broken bone, no. Do not do that.
Good job, Snake.
We're coming to get you now. Just stay where you are. We'll drop a recovery balloon.
Do I get a
Can you set it up?
lollipop? Can I get a lollipop for being such a brave man, for such a brave boy?
Shagohod.
For a second, I thought that was the recovery balloon, and I was just like, you need that many helicopters to bring in a recovery balloon? I feel like you could have just gotten the recovery balloon. I mean, I feel like you could have just picked him up at that point. Yeah, that makes sense. Taking the giant, you know, the giant tank that fires nuclear missiles. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, Gollum. Is that your precious?
Excellent. A great success. Thanks to the boss and her cobras, I have both Sokolov and the Shagohod.
What are we going to do with the girl?
Who is she?
Apparently she's Sokolov's woman.
No. What about their kid?
She's a nice catch. I'll take her. Not so fast, my dear. A kiss of death?
Are you KGB?
We may be able to use her. She has spunk.
Shall we take her back to the base?
Perhaps we should. We have no further use for Sokolov's research facility. I think it's time I gave this marvelous new toy a try.
Colonel, even if they are our enemies, they're still our countrymen.
But it won't be me that pulled the trigger. It'll be our friend, the American defector.
You're going to nuke your fellow Russians?
Remember the Alamo.
What the fuck?
Colonel!
What? Alright, so I mean, I understand why some Americans are like, remember the Alamo is like a thing, but I am so confused. Why would a Russian say that? Because as far as I understand it, and anyone that is from another country, please correct me if I'm wrong. Do you even know anything about the Alamo? Because it doesn't, like, it doesn't really feel like it would be pertinent information for anyone in another country. Like, I understand that it is something that a lot of people in America find important. I get it. But like maybe Spain, I could sort of understand that sentiment, but like, why would a Russian care to know about the Alamo? In particular, to mention it as just like a freaking, like, I have the feeling that a lot of what is about to go on right now is going to be silenced because of the music. So I'm going to try and just kind of talk through this whole thing because I don't really want to have my video silenced because of something that I can't fully control. So anyways, yeah. So far with this game, like, I kind of get like the story seems like it might be really interesting, but it's just like all of this stuff has been so just like ridiculously over the top and kind of like I don't fully get it. And then just like the fact that that was the intro mission and it took me like 2 hours to get through it, and about, I want to say at least 10 minutes was wasted with the whole trying to get around those guards and failing so horribly. And I do admit that is definitely my fault, but why the long timer? And then all of these stuff, I don't know. There's a lot of things that just definitely seem like it's a little over the top and just reaching for things. But at the same time, like I said, it does seem like it's going to be a good story, and I am interested. I'm also interested in this Russian Brotherhood of Mutants here that we got. So, you know, that should be fun. And, yeah, obviously I know that Metal Gear Solid tends to be a pretty solid franchise. And was there a point in me actually collecting survival stuff during that intro thing? Should I just have not worried about that? Because, like, they made a huge point of it. And it's just like, was there really a point to it? So, yeah. Anyways, we got the James Bond style opening here. Is that what this is sort of supposed to be like? Like James Bond meets... like James Bond meets Rainbow Six or something? Is this game supposed to be just like James Bond meets Rainbow Six or something like that? Does that be kind of cool? One week later.
Currently flying over the Arctic Ocean, altitude 30,000 feet, approaching Soviet airspace. Arriving at the designated drone launch point. Drone oil pressure and voltage are nominal. Payload oxygen supply is nominal. Power Power supply to payload antifreeze systems shows no problems. No gusts. All systems go for drone detachment.
Snake, we can't risk a halo jump this time around. Airspace security has gotten tighter since we were last here. We can't get as close to the ground as we did during the Virtuous mission. So instead, we'll be using one of our newest weapons. Snake, you're being given an honor on par with Alan Shepard. This is our last chance. Show your patriotism. If you fail, you'll be back in a hospital bed again, waiting for the firing squad.
Okay.
So how does it feel to be a patient in one of the most advanced ICUs in the world?
Would you do me a favor and tell the suits about visiting hours? I'll never get better with them assaulting me day and night with their questions.
Must be part of the top brass's inquiry.
More like an interrogation. According to them, I'm a traitor and an accomplice to the boss's defection.
They're just looking for a scapegoat.
Yeah.
Does that mean they're after you too?
No, he's too
Let's just say
high
neither
up.
one of us is going to be made a national hero out of this.
Does this mean Fox is going to die?
No. This fox is still one step ahead of the hounds. The reason I came to see you today, Jack, it's time for Fox to clear its name.
What are you talking about?
The situation has changed. We've still got a chance to come out of this one alive.
Yeah, what kind of chance?
Don't get too excited. Here, have a cigar. It's Cuban.
Ha 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 ha. Right, Cuban Missile Crisis.
This morning, I had a meeting with the CIA.
They decided when they're going to execute us?
No. Something even bigger.
Please tell me you haven't frozen again.
Yesterday, the White
there
House
we go.
received an
Okay.
unexpected call.
President Johnson? Yes, I hear you, Mr. Chairman.
It was a hotline call from Khrushchev to President Johnson.
From the head of the Soviet Union?
That's right.
A few days ago, one of our country's main design bureaus, OKB 754, was destroyed in a nuclear explosion. At about the same time, our anti-aircraft radar picked up a signature that appeared to come from one of your military aircraft. Does any of this sound familiar to you?
No. No, of course not.
In retaliation, I have placed our armed forces on secondary alert. Depending on your response, I may be left with no choice but to order the military to maximum alert and unleash Armageddon. With the help of your predecessor, I was able to survive the Cuban incident. But my power is not as great as it once was. If I am to survive this crisis, I must have your full cooperation.
I should have contacted you myself. Did you know that one of our soldiers defected to your country a week ago?
No.
So you haven't heard that. The man who arranged the defection was a GRU colonel by the name of Yevgeny Borosovich Volgin.
Volgin? Of the Brezhnev faction. Go on. Who is the soldier?
Her name is the Boss.
I mean, I imagine that's not actually
During
her
World
name.
War II, she was the one who led us to victory in that war. In Russia, you know her as Voyevoda.
You mean the boss? The mother of your special forces?
Yes, that's the one. And she took 2 miniature nuclear shells along with her.
The boss took 2 miniature nuclear shells.
I'm afraid so. I believe they were a gift for her new hosts. The Davy Crockett Atomic Battle Group delivery system was completed 2 years ago. Serious problems
Davy
were found
Crockett.
with the launcher's range and precision.
That's why you said
Although they
remember
were
the
mass-produced,
Alamo.
they've never been deployed in battle.
But Sokolov's research facility was completely wiped out. The whole area is polluted.
I can only offer you my deepest condolences over this terrible tragedy.
So, the boss, with Colonel Volgin's help,
Still don't fully get it.
Nuclear
Get why the
and
Russian
took them
wouldn't
with
actually
her
know
as
that stuff.
a gift when she defected. Then, shortly thereafter, Sokolov's design lab, a top-secret military research facility, was destroyed by one of these weapons. Am I right so far?
Yes, that's correct.
And the American government denies any involvement in the affair. Is that right as well?
That's correct. We were not involved in any way.
Then what was a U.S. military aircraft doing on our radar screen? It was clearly in a violation of our airspace. And yet you say it was not acting under your orders.
That's correct.
You expect me to believe that this was all the work of a single soldier?
I don't know what else to tell you.
The army insists that this is all a ploy on your part.
I've said it once and I'll say it again. Our government had nothing to do with it.
And I would like dearly to believe you. However, I'm afraid my power over the military has weakened since the Cuban incident. I will need some kind of proof that this was not the action of the American government.
Okay then.
You have 1 week. You must catch the boss yourselves and recover the remaining nuclear device. Then, you must find some way to prove your innocence.
Prove our innocence?
Yes, preferably something painful. Prove to me that this is not merely another one of your tricks.
The boss should be close to Colonel Volgin. How about a little co-action?
I would not expect too much if I were you. The political situation here is unstable. And Colonel Volgin is a member of the Brezhnev faction, which seeks to topple my government. 1 week. You have only 1 week. And if it is not too much to ask, do something about Volgin as well.
What is that supposed to mean?
Basically, he's saying, just freaking hand me my country back to me on a silver platter, or else I make sure my country destroys the world.
Then I will be unable to restrain the military. I will be ousted, and they will seek their revenge.
A nuclear attack on the United States?
It's actually a really good strategy of this
Disposal
guy.
the situation entirely to your discretion, Mr. President.
Disposal.
If you fail, it will mean the beginning of a new world war.
To put it simply, in order to avoid a full-scale nuclear conflict, we have to prove that America was not involved in that explosion.
And eliminating the boss ourselves will prove America's innocence?
Right. The higher-ups have decided that you're the only one capable of pulling this off. You were her last apprentice. Screw this one up, and we'll both be 6 feet under. There's no choice.
I mean, it seems like if Snake screws this up, the entire world is going to
The
be.
KGB has promised to lend us one of their communications satellites so that you and I can talk to each other.
That's it?
They've also put us in touch with a couple of insiders.
Insiders?
There was a defection in September 1960. Do you remember it?
You mean the 2 NSA codebreakers who went over to the Soviet Union?
Precisely. Since then, they've apparently been training with the KGB for exactly this kind of situation. Their code names are Adam and Eva. I've been told that Adam
Really?
infiltrated Volgin's ranks. We've also arranged for him to provide you with an escape route. You'll need to rendezvous with him when you get there.
Control. Unidentified aircraft detected. Altitude 30,000 feet. It's fast. Estimated airspeed
speed exceeding Mach 3. Bearing south. I'm about to lose it.
Still need to work on that superhero landing. Still not quite there.
This is Snake. Do you read me?
Loud and clear. Glad to see you landed safely.
I got blown pretty far off target.
Snake, let's go over your mission objectives one more time. Rescue Sokolov. Find out what's happened to the Shagohod, then destroy it. And finally, eliminate the boss.
Eliminate the boss.
This mission will be codenamed Operation Snake Eater.
Because I'll be taking on the boss in our Cobra unit, right?
Don't forget about Colonel Volgin.
I'm not a hired killer.
You are today.
That was the Kremlin's demand.
Demand? You mean it wasn't just a request? What's it to us if the Khrushchev regime is threatened by the Colonel and his faction?
If supporting the current regime helps us avoid a nuclear exchange, then that's what we'll do.
And what are the CIA's demands?
Our priorities are the rescue of Sokolov and the destruction of the Shagohod.
Roger that, Major Tom.
Hold on, Snake.
What now?
I'm changing my codename. It turns out Tom wasn't the most auspicious choice.
What do you mean?
Well, the truth is, when I chose my codename, I picked the wrong one.
The wrong one?
Did you ever see the movie The Great Escape? It came out last year.
Oh, must have missed that one.
Anyway, it's based on a true story about prisoners who escaped from a POW camp in Nazi Germany. The prisoners dig 3 tunnels as part of their plan, but the Nazis find 2 of the tunnels before they're finished. The prisoners succeed in escaping by using the last remaining tunnel. The names of those 3 tunnels were Dick, Harry, and Tom.
I get it. You used the name of the tunnel they escaped in as your code name because you thought it would bring you good luck.
Yes, that's exactly right. At least, that was the plan.
But
I got the name wrong. The one they escaped in was Harry. Tom was one of the unlucky tunnels. It was discovered by the Nazis before it was finished. I watched the movie again just to make sure. In fact, I even ordered the actual film from the movie company.
Oh my
it doesn't
god.
sound like the greatest name to use. So what should I call you?
You know, let's just use Zero, like we've been doing all along.
All right then. Major Zero it is.
Or...
We'll start over from square one.
From square 0. My frequency is 140.85. Oh, I almost forgot. Paramedic is with us again on this mission.
Is this her last chance too?
If we fail, she'll have her medical license revoked. It's more or less the same kind of fate. Her frequency is the same as during the Virtuous mission.
Seems like ridiculous.
145.73. She'll be recording your mission data as well, just like the last time. That frequency is also the same. 140.96. And there's one more person on your support team. His name is Mr. Sigint. He's an expert on the latest in weapons and equipment technology. You'll be going up against some of the world's most advanced weaponry when you infiltrate the research facility. If you have any questions, just ask him. His frequency is 148.41.
Mr. Sigint. Got it.
Adam, your KGB contact, is waiting for you at the abandoned factory up ahead.
The same factory Sokolov was being held in last week.
Yes, meet up with Adam first. He's cleared the way for you to rescue Sokolov.
How will I know this Adam guy when I see him?
You'll know once you reach the factory. The whole area has been polluted by the fallout from that nuclear blast. No one else would dare come close. The password is, who are the Patriots? And Lali Lule Lo.
Lali Lule Lo. Gotcha.
You've been equipped with a 45 for this mission. Be careful, it's noisy.
I thought standard Fox procedure was procure on-site weapons acquisition.
The circumstances are different this time. You're now on an official mission for the United States government.
You know, a lot of this seems like it should have been discussed before.
To the Khrushchev regime at the very least. But remember, this is still a sneaking mission. Snake, if you fail this mission, it will mean an all-out nuclear war. Keep that in mind and proceed with extreme caution.
Understood. Commencing
No
Operation
pressure.
Snake Eater.
No pressure, okay? No pressure. Just the entire fate of the world. But you got it. So anyways, let's see what I have. Camos still all the same. Backpack. Got survival knife, gun, stun grenade, and a directional mic. Items got binoculars, cigar, fake death pill, revival pill, anti-personnel sensor, ocean detector, active sonar. Motion detector. Huh. Neat. That consumes power, so... Do I have food still? Additional settings. I was really hoping I could find a way to make it to where I didn't have to like refer to the map at all times. So, okay. Couple of snakes, nothing major. There's a horse nearby. You don't find it weird that he's got a saddle?
Looks like death wasn't ready for you yet.
Boss.
That arm still hurt?
Why
What are you doing
didn't you shoot?
Go home.
Again.
Go home. Gru and my sons are waiting.
Doing this.
You don't have a prayer of finishing your mission. You're not even armed.
Again, doing the whole thing of just not letting me actually do anything.
I'm not your boss anymore. There's nothing for you here. Go home. Go back to your boss. There's no need to prove that you are virtuous here. This isn't America. That should stir things up a bit. You'd better hurry. The border is 60 miles south of here. You ought to be able to run that far.
Why'd you defect?
I didn't. I'm loyal to the end, to my purpose. What about you, Jack? What's it going to be? Loyalty to your country or loyalty to me? Your country or your old mentor? The mission or your beliefs? Your duty to your unit or your personal feelings? You don't know the truth yet. But sooner or later you'll have to choose. I don't expect you to forgive me. But you can't defeat me either. You know me too well.
I mean, to be fair, if he would actually freaking shoot you when he has the opportunity, because he's had opportunities multiple times. He's had multiple opportunities to kill her.
Go home.
Where she's just monologuing or just standing there, and he has a gun on her, and instead of pulling the damn trigger...
This is Snake. Major Zero.
I read you, Snake.
I was ambushed by the boss.
You were what?
The drone's been shot to hell. It's up in
I
flames.
feel like
That's
I've had
Enemy
more
scouts are gonna come looking for
cinematics
you.
than I
Yeah,
have...
know. But what was the
than I've
boss
had
doing here in the first place?
actual
There's got to be a leak somewhere.
gameplay.
No, that's impossible. The man the boss is working with Volgin isn't exactly on speaking terms with Khrushchev.
I lost my gun. The boss destroyed it.
Snake, I know how you're feeling. It's hard for me to believe, too, that a legendary hero like the boss would go over to the Russians. That she'd double-cross us like this. But that's how it is, and if you don't accept it, you'll never be able to beat her.
That's not the problem. In terms of sheer technique, I'll never be able to beat her. I know that all too well.
You've got to do it, Snake. She's your enemy and your objective.
Enemy? We were together for 10 years, and now you tell me she's my enemy?
Enough. Hurry to the factory where Adam is waiting. Scouts have probably already been sent out to investigate the explosion. You've lost your weapon, right? That means you've got no chance of winning in a battle situation. Whatever you do, don't let them see you.
Back to being stealthy. Let's go ahead and pull my knife out in case I need it. That's not what I meant to press.
I think I saw something. What's this? HQ? HQ.
This is HQ.
Patrol here. We have evidence of an enemy intruder. Commence alert formation.
Acknowledged. Sending reinforcements. Use extra caution.
I'm sure they didn't notice me changing clothes. So far, I only see 2. It said that there were gonna be reinforcements sent. Oh, Lord. A minute and a half that I have to chill. Halfway through the thing at this point. All seem to be staying mostly away from me, so that's nice.
HQ.
This is HQ.
Patrol here. No problems detected.
Understood. Return to your position.
And right there. I saw that there were 2 others. And having to change this stuff out like every 5 seconds. Kind of obnoxious. Okay. I have a new actual goal right Might not have been the best direction. Okay. At the motion detector, it spotted 3. Oh, there's that one. Keep on losing my bearings. Oh, that wasn't too difficult. You're about to cross the bridge. I feel like I need to just kill you. You did a great job reconstructing the bridge, though. Right down to the wasp nest. Okay, making him go all the way out there is so obnoxious. Anything I can do. Guy is like all the way over there. And, like, more than half this game is just waiting. It's like half the game is FMVs. A third of the game is waiting. Oh, Lord. Gotta wait for him to slowly cross the bridge so I can either kill him or cross the bridge. And he's so slow. Okay, I wasn't sure if that whole thing with the hand was actually gonna be a actual thing or not. If I can kill this guy before he radios for backup, I think gonna be good. I really need you to get over here. Oh my Lord. Why are you so slow? Who walks that slow? Hey, how do I, like, get his gun? Am I just not allowed to get his gun? That's some bullshit. Whoa. What the frick?
Who's that?
Anything? This was where I was supposed to meet the guy. Yo. What's that? Spark 222?
Sorry I'm late.
Cut the engine. They'll hear us.
Are you the agent they sent?
Are you Adam? I thought you were supposed to be a man.
Adam couldn't make it.
All right, say the password. Who are the Patriots? Who are the Patriots? Answer me! Trapped.
Get down! There is your answer.
Technically, that wasn't the answer. Like, considering how psycho some of these people tend to be, that literally could have just been a way to screw with us. Okay.
The name's Eva.
There is literally no reason.
This wasn't part of the plan. What happened to Adam?
What's your code name?
It's Snake.
Snake, huh? Well, I'm Eva. Are you here to tempt me?
What happened to Adam?
Colonel Volgan is a very suspicious man. He decided Adam wasn't the right person for this mission.
And you were.
Yes,
Why?
because I can do things he can't.
I heard you used to be a codebreaker for the NSA.
I was. 4 years ago, I defected to the Soviet Union with Adam.
Mauser military. The broom handle.
It packs quite a punch. Nice to have when you're on a bike.
You held it sideways and used the muzzle jump to create a horizontal sweep. That was impressive.
Bet you've never seen that technique in the West.
It's imitation, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a Chinese Type 17 pistol. Around here, even that's hard to come by. Don't worry, though. The one I've got for you is American-made.
.45, huh?
I'm not quite sure, but I feel like you should shoot her.
Incredible.
Do you like it?
The feeding ramp is polished to a mirror sheen. The slide's been reinforced. And the
I might be
frame is
slightly
tightened for added precision.
distrusting of
Sight
people
system
right
is original,
now,
too.
but
The thumb safety is extended to make it easier on the finger.
she still never
Long-tailed trigger
actually
with
gave the
non-slip grooves.
passcode.
A ring hammer. The base of the trigger
And
guard's been
Volgan's
filed down for a higher
crazy.
grip. And not only that, nearly every part of this gun has been expertly crafted and customized. Where'd you get something like this?
I grabbed it from a Western munitions armory. It probably used to belong to one of your officers, and there are more where that came from. You had this with you, didn't you? Better take this too.
What's that?
A disguise to make you look like a scientist.
A disguise?
Yes. You're here to rescue Sokolov, right?
Sokolov's still safe then?
Yes. He's being forced to continue his work on the Shagohod.
Where?
At the lab. They've got a whole army of scientists there developing new weapons. Security is tight, but if you disguise yourself as a scientist, you might be able to sneak in.
Can we get Sokolov out of there?
We'll see, won't we?
Tell me how to get to the lab.
The safest way in is from the rear. First, you'll need to head north through the jungle. You'll come to a heliport used for shipping materials. Pass the heliport and continue north, and there will be a large crevice. Descend into that area and you'll reach a cave. Move through the cave and you will arrive at a mangrove swamp. After the swamp, there'll be a warehouse. Make your way through the warehouse and you'll come out just south of the lab.
Got it.
And just what are you doing there?
In close-range combat, a knife can sometimes be more useful than a gun. By doing this, I'll be able to hold a knife at the same time and still keep the gun steady. That way, I can instantly switch between a gun battle and a knife fight. Right, let's get going.
Wait a minute.
What now?
You must be tired. Why don't you take a little rest?
I'll be fine.
You'll never make it in your condition. It's a jungle out there. There's still an hour before dawn. It's dangerous to be out in the jungle at night without a guide.
What about you?
I have to get back. I can't be gone for too long. They'll start to suspect something. Don't worry. I'll keep you updated over the radio.
That's it?
My orders are to provide you with information, nothing more. You look disappointed. All right then. I'll do something special for you. I'll stand watch until dawn. Now be a good boy and lie down.
Seriously? I don't
What's the
trust
matter?
her.
I don't know you well enough to trust you.
How well do you have to know me to trust me?
I don't know if I can trust anybody.
I mean, that's fair. The person who trained you for 10 years is apparently, you know, not good.
Gonna get that?
She's right, Snake. You should get some sleep.
Really?
Although in your condition, you really ought to be back in the ICU. Whenever you save the game and quit, you'll go to sleep. Sleeping allows you to gain back stamina naturally. Depending on how long you sleep, you may also recover naturally from sickness and injury. When you're tired or hurt, the best thing to do is just get some sleep. So do yourself a favor and take a nap. Doctor's orders, okay?
Yeah, okay.
So, odd enough, it is about that time. So, I am gonna go ahead and save and quit for the day. And I will continue the playthrough of this game next week. And as I've said already, I know I'm being kind of critical right now of this game. And I can't fully explain why, other than just a lot of it just really seems to be kind of just comical, you know? And then just the ridiculousness of like the number of times he has had a gun on the boss and she was just not doing anything. Like, especially when there was a trank gun involved. And then that most recent time, like quite literally, that most recent time should have just been... I'm trying to figure out how to get out of this. But yeah, that most recent time, it really should have been just like she speaks and then just instant just freaking fire and kill her. You know, no waiting, no anything like that. Anyway, I'll be playing on Suikoden 3 tomorrow. So if you enjoy JRPGs, come join me tomorrow with that. I'll continue this game next week. And yeah. Follow me at SerioStar pretty much everywhere. And go to my website, seriostar.com, to find a few more things. Whenever I update there. And links to my books can be found there. So I hope everyone has a good rest of the day. And I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.